My name's Alfe Walker, and I'm from the Wiradjuri people of Goulburn. And one of the reasons why I came here was to, refine and take a look at the skills I've already learnt in leadership and be able to build on that and be able to build on it in a way that I can best serve and support my community, support my family, support my region, so on and so forth. Yeah. I guess the thing that I got most out of the workshop was to think about was probably looking at the well-being side of things. I mean, we talk about your physical well-being, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual well-being, but how often do we talk about political well-being, financial well-being, those areas that you don't always focus on? And I think it makes sense now to look back and look at that and go, actually that does have an impact in my life and who I am, ultimately going to having an impact in my leadership. So that was really good to take a look at those areas that sometimes you can overlook and not focus on. I think the thing that's impressed me most about this workshop is being able to sit in a room with a bunch of blokes, brothers and cousins and family members, and learn from them. Sometimes you can. That's when you get the most valuable things, is when you can sit around and have a yarn, and it's not very common as a group to talk about some of the stuff that we've talked about in this workshop. It's not a common thing to talk about our values and talk about our stories and stuff like that in such an environment, but this gives it that ability to do that, and it was really encouraging, and it's good hearing the stories, because it's the stories that paint the picture for in our leadership, who we're representing, who we're standing alongside of, who we're being a voice for. So it's good to hear a lot of the stuff that the men are sharing. Yeah. I think when you look at this idea of an effective leader, what comes to mind are probably 5 elements or values that you can think of in leadership for me, and that is stuff that I've picked up from other people, values of passion, resilience, vision, definitely values and how they impact our leadership. But for me, the biggest value of all would have to be service. And I think in leadership, when we learn to get that right, when we learn to display service and to serve people and give up of ourselves, I think that's probably one of the best leadership styles, is that servant leadership. And somebody once shared with me a saying, and it says, I'm going to, and I wrote it as one of my I wills, and it's I will display love, display service, display strength to my peers, to my family, to my brothers, and if necessary I'll use words. And I think that if you can display that without using words, I think you're living out the life of a servant leader. One of the things, growing up, you hear kids say things, I want to be a fireman, I want to be this, I want to be a footy player, I want to be these things, and I encourage a lot of young people, do that, dreams. But, one thing I've learnt is sometimes those statements, we can make them idly, and we can make them and don't put substance to them. And recently, one of the things I really have taken on and learnt is that I want to display my leadership in such a way that gives people strength. And I have made the decision that I will one day definitely be in the Parliament House. And I don't say that idly, a lot of people do, but I do want to make that declaration. I will be in Parliament House. So.